Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you will be watching this video. Let me first welcome you to this very short video that I have decided to make because unfortunately, I could not, or we could not have a class wherein we would discuss, as I had promised, your writing and the techniques of writing needed to successfully pass the exam on the different subjects you will be doing in S5, but most specifically on my course, on my subject on literature in the English-speaking world. If you remember, I had given you an assignment on to write a report on Chimamanda Adichie's talk, The Danger of a Single Story. My objective behind giving these assignments is first to allow you to write, and second, to see how you write. Unfortunately, and I say this with the capital U, unfortunately, a big unfortunately, I received only something like, let's say, 8 or 9 reports out of, I think, the 100 something students who used to attend the lectures. I was disappointed because I could have had more samples to choose from, but let us say I want to use what I have before me. I have something like 7. I don't have the names. I was thinking of using an overhead projector or a Google Meet, share screen Google Meet platform, but I find it difficult to use Google Meet. So I will use what I have. I have my computer before me, and I'm using my telephone to record this video. Now, first thing first, when you have a question to answer in an exam, ask yourselves basically two questions. Question 1, what should I write? And question 2, what use is it? So this video will try to quickly elaborate on these two major questions that you need to ask yourself when you receive your exam paper. So before starting to write, ask yourself this question: what should I write? What use is it? What you should write, basically, I think what you should write is what is expected of you from the topic question. Now, what should I write? I should write what the topic question asks me to write. So here, the professor or the examiner, when he or she asks this question, he wants or she wants you to write about that specific aspect that he or she is asking you to do. So, in a sense, your examiner imprisons you within the topic question, or the question that they are intending to read and to understand. So what you should write, I should write something to my reader. Who is my reader? He's my professor. Now I'd like you first to know that when I correct as a corrector, as an examiner, I am your reader, which means you need to inform me. And this is going to be the answer to what use is it. But first, as I said, what should I write? I should stick to what the professor is expecting to hear and to learn from the answer you're gonna come up with. So what should I write? I should first of all, when I am given the topic question, I need to read the instructions very carefully. What do the instructions say? Write a short paragraph of no more than 10 or 12 or 15 lines on the following, on one of the following topic questions. So what is needed? This is a paragraph. How long? 15 lines. I should stick to this. Big time. I should stick to this. 15, no more than 15 lines. A paragraph, not an essay. In this case, I need to remember what a paragraph is. That's number one. What a paragraph is. A paragraph is one entity. Starts from A, goes to D. It's not, paragraph is a number of independent sentences written in a very disorganized way. A paragraph is a paragraph. And I'll talk about the paragraph later. So you write a paragraph. Then what should I do? I should look at the topic question and underline the keywords in the topic question. You underline the keyword of the topic sentence, topic question. Why underline the keywords? Because in underlining, I try to understand what is expected of me, what I should write. So I should write about, I don't know, what are the causes of divorce rates, the increase of divorce rate in Morocco. So causes, increase, divorce rate, 3 keywords. What shall I do next? I should kind of paraphrase this topic question. Make it affirmative instead of being interrogative. Write my own words, paraphrase. You can say, there are many reasons why divorce rate has increased in Morocco. And when I say there are many reasons why divorce rate has increased in Morocco, I can start developing my ideas about what I'm going to write. So you paraphrase. The moment you paraphrase and you have the clear idea of what you want, now I move to the next point. How am I going to organize my writing? Go back to the instructions. Read a paragraph. How long? 15 lines. 150 words or 150 words. 15 lines. I should not go beyond than 15 lines. How am I going to elaborate on this? I should first get into the mindset of a paragraph. What is a paragraph? What is a paragraph? A paragraph is made up of a number of sentences, a number of independent sentences separated by different punctuation marks. I can tell you one of the most dangerous problems that you have not been aware of is punctuation. I'm going to read, for example, one of your friend's text, and she goes, in Chimamanda Adichie's speech, the danger of a single story, she made a statement to the world on how dangerous it can be to only take the considerations one narration on one side of the story. She used the word dangerous to highlight the risk and the advantages of the acts, which can lead to a total misunderstanding, creating false stereotypes and limiting imagination through sticking to over one story on one perspective. Furthermore, she said that she used to be in the situation herself. She was made to believe that some characters, people, and culture. I haven't stopped yet. The sentence hasn't finished yet. What is a paragraph? It is made up of independent sentences. How do I know that these sentences are independent? By the question mark, full stop. You put a full stop after each independent sentence. So, in terms of writing technique, be careful about punctuation. Because if you go on reading and reading, as I told you here, where is it? This is a paragraph. Let me just show you the paragraph. I don't know how to do this. But the paragraph I have before me I think, let me just check. In Chimamanda Adichie's speech, the word, the danger of a single story, comma, she made a statement to the world on the dangers it can only to take into consideration one narration or one side of the story, comma. She used the word dangerous to highlight the risk and the disadvantages of the act, comma, which can lead to a total misunderstanding, comma, creating false stereotypes, comma, limiting imagination and thoughts, comma, through sticking to one story and or one perspective, comma. Furthermore, comma, she said that she is used to be in the situation herself, comma. She was made to believe that some character, comma, people, comma, and cultures are only what she read or heard them to be, comma. The fact that she used to only read stories about British characters made her imagination to be restricted to only that, comma. She was taken by the narrative too much to notice the life she had in front of her, comma, and to notice the fact that realities change and that they are not the same, comma. In addition to when she went to college, she met with people who also were consumed by that danger of believing one single story about the specific thing, comma. We can see how she kept noticing and experiencing the same issue and on later in her life, comma, but she was smart to stop and to think about it and to pinpoint what was the real problem, comma. If we keep believing on one single story, we will never discover the true reality of cultures, and comma, and we will never develop up and beyond the stereotypical stories that are told by some sources, comma. We can definitely relate, comma, to her point of view, comma, for we know that culture are never just one narrative, comma, and that narratives aren't always right, comma. They can be misleading sometimes, comma, and for the specific reason she explained this idea, comma, and how it's not corrected, it can create misconceptions and misunderstanding, for stop. Okay, let me just tell you, this paragraph is made up of, let me download it. This paragraph is made up of how many words? It is made up of, here it is, here. This paragraph is made up of 300 words. 300 words. I don't know whether you see. Can you see here? Here it is. Sorry. So this paragraph is made up of more than 15 lines. And it's 380 words, but it's one sentence. Now, for me, a person who writes like this does not deserve to be in S5. Do you know why? Because in S5, you have already learned about punctuation. You write with a punctuation. You cannot write a paragraph with no punctuation. I know this student, he or she meant to inform me, but she has not informed me at all, because she hasn't given me time to breathe. What is punctuation? It is give you time to breathe and think. For example, in Chimamanda Adichie's speech, comma, the danger of a single story is a statement to the world on how dangerous it can be to take into consideration one narration or one side of the story, full stop. And I go back and say, what does she say? Yes, good. And then I move on. So basically, a paragraph without punctuation is not a paragraph. So bear in mind that if you write a paragraph with no punctuation, you will fail, automatically fail your exam. Why do you fail? Because you don't answer to the second question. What use is it? What is the use of my exam copy? 2 uses. Use number 1, it's an exam and you need to take a grade. You have to take a grade and I have to grade you. But most importantly, this exam copy is there to be given to somebody to read, and when he or she reads it, he needs or she needs to be informed, because you inform him or her. Imagine that, just imagine this. When you write your exam copy, imagine that you're not writing to me as a professor. Imagine that you're writing to your father who does not know Chimamanda Adichie, your father or your friend, or who doesn't read English, who doesn't understand Chimamanda Adichie's post-colonial discourse, and you tell him or her the danger of a single story is about a woman who used to live in, who is Nigerian and who was essentialized and stigmatized by those who do not understand that culture is not unidimensional, but it is pluridimensional. So your objective when you write, you need to inform me as a reader. Unfortunately, when you write, you think you're writing to your professor, but normally you write to your readership, and your readership are people who don't know anything about what you're writing, and your job is to inform them, to tell them what you understand from a phenomenon. How can I do this? I need to have an organized paragraph. Now, in terms of form, I need to write sentences. What is a sentence? We have different types of sentences: a simple sentence, compound sentence, and a complex sentence. The more complex you get, the more difficult it is. So try to be as simple as possible. Use a simple sentence and or compound sentence, or use a complex sentence if you know how to handle it within the punctuation mode or the punctuation mood. So if we say Chimamanda Adichie's talk is about misrepresentation. Suppose this is your topic sentence. Firstly, it tries to teach us how people misrepresent, how the colonizer or how the West misrepresents the East. And you give examples. Very simple questions, very simple sentences. Knowing that your job is to inform me, inform about what? About what is expected of you from the topic question. So you tell me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to explain to you to what extent is Chimamanda Adichie's talk is about misrepresentation. So you have to focus on misrepresentation, nothing else. Don't try and start talking about colonialism and post-colonialism. You have a paragraph. A paragraph is made up of many sentences. Let me tell you how many sentences you can write in a paragraph. You can write a topic sentence, which is the main idea around which the paragraph revolves around, a topic sentence, and 6 sentences, all of which directly relate to the topic sentence. So I can say something like, you can have a topic sentence. You try to develop or to elaborate on this topic sentence by coming up with another sentence. An example. Can we justify colonialism? For example, this is something which we discuss in class. Can we justify colonialism? This is a topic question. What is the answer? How can I answer this question? What should I write? I should write whether we can justify colonialism or not. As a professor or as a reader, I am not interested. Basically, I am interested in whether you are going to agree with justifying colonialism or not justifying colonialism. So let's say we say colonialism cannot be justified. There is no way we can justify colonialism. Full stop. This is the topic sentence. Or colonialism can never be justified for many reasons. Look, I open up the paragraph to you. Colonialism can be justified for many reasons. Full stop. First reason. Secondly, Second reason. Third reason. Okay. Firstly, colonialism has never been a torch which enlightens people's life or civilized civilized societies. This is why you cannot justify it. Why can't we justify it? Because colonialism has never had as a main objective to civilize, but to exploit. So you cannot justify it. Now, what should I do? I have sentence one, which is topic sentence. Remember, colonialism cannot be justified for different reasons. That's topic sentence. Developing sentence number one. Firstly, we cannot justify it because colonialism has never targeted to civilize but to exploit. Okay, what do I need? I need to support these developing sentences, to elaborate. Give examples. When the English went to Egypt, they never wanted to create schools or roads or whatever, but they always wanted to rip the country from its natural resources. Look, how many sentences we have? I have topic sentence, developing sentence, supporting sentence. That's one. Secondly, the history of secondary, we cannot justify colonialism because the history of colonialism is a history of murder and crime. Now, what do you need? You need to support this developing sentence. Throughout history, all colonial powers have murdered and slaughtered people rather than help them live happily. So what do I have? How many paragraph sentences do I have? I have topic sentence, developing sentence 1, supporting sentence 1. So you have topic sentence, TS, next DS plus SS, topic sentence, developing sentence, supporting sentence. So 1, and then second reason, that's developing sentence 2 with its supporting sentence, and then developing sentence 3 with its supporting sentence. How many do we have? We have 7. This is how I can but notice what I have done. I have talked about nothing but justification of colonialism, and all my sentences relate to colonialism. Look, your friend who gave me a report, she did not come up with a single sentence. She came up with ideas, but these ideas are completely disorganized. I need to organize them into a paragraph. What is a paragraph? It's a group of words which talk about one single idea, which we find at the beginning of the sentence, of the paragraph, which is the topic sentence. So TS, developing sentence, supporting sentence. TS, developing sentence 1, supporting sentence 1. Developing sentence 2, supporting sentence 2. Developing sentence 3, supporting sentence 3. And all these three developing and supporting sentences relate directly to the topic sentence, and then we have unity of thought. Unity of thought, which means do not go beyond what the author, or what the speaker, or what your examiner wants to hear. So I know this is not, it looks easy, but it's going to be difficult because you have not been practicing writing. But notice one thing, please, I urge you, before writing, put let's say four questions. What should I write? I should write what is asked of me in the topic question, and I should pay attention to the instructions. That's what should I write. What use is it? I am writing because I want my professor to understand and to learn from me how I want to answer this question. How can I succeed? I need to be organized. How can I be organized? I need to write a paragraph. What is a paragraph? It is a group of sentences, of independent sentences that talk about one single idea. The single idea is in the topic sentence. How can I do it? Punctuation. Punctuation, 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 and punctuation, and nothing but punctuation. Focus on punctuation. You know what you can do? You can write, just to develop this punctuation idea. Write a sentence with a blue pen and the punctuation with a green pen, so that your paragraph, to you, all punctuation should be in green, for example. What does that mean? This means that you are aware that you are going to work on a number of sentences that are independent in terms of sentences, but dependent in terms of ideas. And this is the unity of thought. So, what should I write? I should write what is expected me to write. What uses it to inform? How can I inform? I have to be organized. How can I be organized? I need to use a paragraph sentence. What is a paragraph? A number of sentences, of independent sentences that are separated by full stops. And of course you have commas and you have semicolons and you have whatever, but full stop should appear. How many sentences? I can come up with 4 to 6 sentences in a paragraph. But all these sentences, all of them, relate directly to the topic sentence. There are many YouTube videos which talk about a paragraph. Please help yourself from these YouTube videos. But remember, what should I write? I should write what is expected of me to write from the, how shall I answer the topic question? What uses it to inform? How can I inform? I have to be coherent. I have to be organized. How can I be organized? By coming up with a paragraph that is made up of a topic sentence, developing and supporting sentences, developing supporting sentences, developing supporting sentences. All these developing supporting sentences relate directly to the topic sentence. And this is how you can at least come up with a clearer idea. All the paragraphs that I have received, here I have 2 pages. No. Again, let me read to you. The danger of the single story lurks in the unfair representation and reduction of people's images. This was Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's claim at TED Talks in 1922. This is a very good report, but it's not yours, my friend. He or she who has written it. What is the use of copy and paste? Let me tell you, if you've learned something from Google and you copy it, you cheat and you copy it by heart, it's not going to be successful. What should be successful is your effort during the exam that you write within the structure of a paragraph. When somebody comes up and give me what is the effort that has been done in this work? This work, for me, it is useless. It's a very good report. But what this friend has done, she or he, I don't know who did this. The danger of a single story lurks in the unfair representation and reduction of people's images. This was Chimamanda Adichie's claim at TEDx in 2009. She started her speech by telling the audience about the childhood. Sorry, I was saying, what is the use of copying something from the internet and give it to me? Can't I do it myself? Can't I go to the internet and look for this and read it and then? What's the use? There is no effort at all when you copy and paste. What you should do, use your brain to learn how to write, because the objective is to give you this structure, this structured mind, wherein I work and I write with coherence, logic, and organization. And organization necessitates paragraph. And paragraph necessitates punctuation. It necessitates sentence structure, very good punctuation, and a very good unity of thought, which you cannot do without paying attention to the fact that you write within a framework of you want to elaborate on one single idea. That is what you put in your topic sentence at the beginning of your paragraph. Okay, so anything that comes from Google is not accepted. I'm sorry, because we cannot construct a style when you just steal people's. We cannot construct a style when you steal. You construct a style by working hard on the different questions. Look, you're very lucky. You've got the internet, and go to the internet and just write down questions about Chimamanda Adichie and try to develop your own answer to the questions you have. Because my objective as an examiner is, of course, it is to give you a grade, to give you a mark. But my objective is also to tell myself I have succeeded my mission, which is to construct somebody who develops logical thinking and who develops an organizational framework when he or she writes. She writes within the concept, the ideas, one idea, and different sentences, all of which relate to these ideas. I don't want to go further than this. Sorry, this is the third video clip where I get interrupted by telephone calls. I hope you learn from this. I'm very sorry we haven't had time. We didn't have much time to be together to talk more about issues related to literature in the English-speaking world. I feel extremely disappointed not having had the opportunity to meet up with you to talk face-to-face on issues related to writing. But let us be very thankful to this technology, which has allowed us to get in touch despite the fact that we are apart. I have to thank you very much for being patient with me during class. I hope you've learned something out of what we have delivered in class, and I wish you good luck. Be persevering, work hard, but remember the 4 questions that I asked. What should I write? What use is it? How should I write it? And how can I organize myself? Unity of thought, punctuation, paragraph structure, and good luck to all of you, and wish to see you during the exam. Thank you.